Aylin just went for a walk to go see the ducks. Boom, boom, boom. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh, won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? What's going on, guys? Motonosity here. Welcome back to the channel. Got another vlog for you guys today. It is glorious today. I feel like I only go out and ride when it's glorious. I feel like I sound like the friggin' Sanderson sisters. You guys know the Sanderson sisters. Hocus Pocus? What? You don't? You've never seen Hocus Pocus? What are you doing with your life? Oh, it feels so good. It's like, so I have this like threshold. My regular jacket that I wear during the summer, it's got like a rain liner on the inside, but for the most part it's just a vented jacket. It's about as cool as I can get while staying protected during the summer. It's only good for me down to about 65 degrees. Now listen here, y'all just listen here. So I'm from Texas, and so I'm used to the heat when it's summertime. Okay, drop the accent. 65 degrees for my summer jacket. That's where I call it quits with that one, and I switch to my winter one. Or at least that's when I start bundling up with extra layers underneath my regular jacket. Now, it's about 50 degrees right now, but I just felt so good outside that not only did I not wear my summer jacket, I'm wearing my, I don't even know what you would call it. It's a speed and strength, like, flannel style, not flannel, but like riding jacket. I don't know. It looks like something that a lumberjack or a hipster would wear, aka me. No joke, I have like only flannels, and that's basically all I wear during the winter time. Anyways, I'm wearing this. It's not even as good cold wise as my summer jacket is with the liner in it, but I wanted to feel comfortable today because the weather is just spectacular. This is just like the weirdest intersection. I'm always confused when I get to this part. I'm like, where should I go? Down this way is the answer. I don't even know what's here. What is down here? It says no outlet, but I don't know how far is no outlet. Yeah, y'all are gonna have to just pardon me for a second because I've been having this cough for quite a while now. I'm dying over here. Is this a house? Or some kind of commune? Because it doesn't look like a house, but what kind of business would have their business on the end of this random road? Private property, keep out. I'm not gonna mess with that. Anyways, it's just so nice outside. I wanted to be comfortable in all my nice clothes, so that's why I'm wearing this jacket when I could have been super toasty in my winter jacket. But it's been raining and it's been cold for all freaking week. I'm just getting over with this cough, but I was like deathly sick, and it was like glorious weather like this weekend. I think this weekend, or maybe the end of last week. Last week it was glorious. It's 70s, even hit 80 one day, clear skies and sun, but I was sick and I could barely even get out of bed. Then as soon as I started getting better, the cold came, and then it was like 30 degrees and pouring rain, which just seems to be the story of my life out here in Georgia. Ever since I came here, it's been raining all the freaking time, and I didn't know if it was normal or not, but I watched the news one day, and apparently it was the second wettest year on record in Atlanta. So there you go. I'm the source of all y'all's rain problems. Been waiting for the sun to peek out so I could go on a ride, and here we are today. So sorry for the delays with the videos, but that's why. Oh, with that clutchless downshift, unintentionally, brother. Why am I randomly saying brother all of a sudden? I wanted to bring something up today, rather talk about something, and actually like freaking titled the video about it, because I'm still getting questions about it whenever I post on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. Yo, brother, yo, Motonosity, what's up with the Grom build? Where's the Grom and what's happening with it? I've talked about it and I've explained it probably in 3 or 4 videos now, and on Instagram. So here I am with a full-blown video talking about what's going on with the Grom, and wow, that's a stop sign. So if you didn't know, now that it's been 4 months since the last Grom Build Series episode, I bought a Grom for the next build series that I was doing, and then kind of out of nowhere, I stopped with the episodes, and I haven't made one since. And it sucked hardcore. I hate that this has happened, but here's what's been going on, and here's what I've explained in other videos. Nothing's really changed, it's just more of the same problems. So back when I did the last couple episodes, I had a button. So if you don't know what the plan for this build was, it's going to be a show bike, but a drag show bike. The plan is to do a 300cc engine swap on the Grom, but not just have it be a junky bike that goes fast. Have it look really, really good. So I'm talking full slam stretch, bigger wheels, really nice cosmetics, a lot of improvements, just the full thing, the full kit and caboodle. Uh-oh. Someone's in trouble. Glad I heard him. I had to pull over. My battery died without me knowing. Had to do a little swappage. Anyway, so I did the disassembly, and I had all the episodes planned on what the route I was going to be going and when things would be happening. The next thing on my list was the bike. Now, there was a couple different options that I had for sourcing the parts that I needed for the engine swap. One, I could buy a used bike, but I really didn't want to do that because it would make no sense. I could get one for like 3 grand, maybe 3,500 if I found like a really good deal, maybe slightly less than 3 grand, but around that number. But all I really needed off of that was the engine, the wiring harness, and the gauge cluster. So to spend all that money just to get those little things off of it, and then have a bike that I would have to part out with nearly everything on it. Like, it's not like I was just taking off some plastics and then selling the rest of the bike and it's a working bike. Like, it's nothing anymore. So my other 2 options were to buy a wrecked bike or to buy all the stuff off of eBay. Now, eBay was like the initial way that I wanted to go with things, but the problem is these engines don't really go on eBay very often. If they do, they're either really high mileage or they're broken, like straight up the case is just cracked, and I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted something that was in good working condition, that I wouldn't have to deal with fixing the engine before I could even do anything with it on the swap. So that left me with buying a wrecked bike that I could source all the parts off of, which is great. Like, I had no problem with doing that. It made a lot more financial sense than to source just a few different things off eBay, because then I could get a bike for about the same amount that it would cost me to buy the things individually. I would get everything at once. I wouldn't have to wait for finding the parts on eBay, because, by the way, I haven't seen any of the wiring harnesses. I've never seen any of the gauge clusters pop up on eBay. You gotta buy those things new. So really, it wasn't a reliable option for me if I wanted to do a build quickly. Now, it's taken a while now, but still, I haven't seen any real options pop up on eBay. So my route that I've been planning on going is with the wrecked bike route. Something off of Copart, or if I could manage to find something somewhere else, and that would be fine. But Copart was my primary place for looking for bikes. Now, I did the disassembly, and I had like the next on the chopping block was to get a bike and start doing the disassembly on that and everything. And I had a bike that I had found on Copart that was like the perfect fit. It was close by, and I ran into problems with my account on Copart, and it wasn't in the proper standing that it needed to be in order for me to bid in the auction, and I missed out on the perfect option of a bike. So I get the account taken care of and everything is good, but there hasn't been any really good options that have popped up on Copart. They're either really high mileage or they had damage to the actual engine, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. I wanted to get something that was lower mileage for the person that's going to be getting this bike, since it is a giveaway bike. So that was the primary issue of missing episodes right there at the start after we did the disassembly on the Grom. And then that brings us to the other problem that I've been having, which is getting the parts for this bike. Now there's a couple different companies that I've been in communication with that committed to providing parts for the build. Unfortunately, they're not very responsive. And the reason that I've been waiting on working with these companies is this is a giveaway bike, and it all has to make financial sense for me in order to give away an entire motorcycle, because of course I had to buy the Grom at the beginning, and I had to buy the parts that we would needed for the engine swap and the sourcing, all of that. That was going to be costs that would be coming out of my pocket no matter what, and a lot of that right at the beginning. But after that, a lot of what we do on the build is determined by the people that are supporting the build on Patreon. If you want to support the build, you can go check out the link in the description. But also the stuff that we can manage to get sponsors for on the build, which hasn't ever been a problem for me on the builds that I've done on the channel so far. We've done a lot of cool builds. I've worked with a ton of great companies, and I've just never ran into any problems with that. The Grom scene must just be a little bit different, because these companies have just been incredibly unresponsive. Not in the form of just like, we don't want to do this, but of like, yeah, we want to do this, and then after that they kind of just ghost on me for a while, and then they reappear again and they're like, yeah, we still want to work with you. So this was back in September when we had the start of the build, and the main responses I got from these companies at the start was that they were going to be going to SEMA, and so it was a really busy time for them, and they couldn't really handle getting the parts out for me and organizing what parts would be sent and all of that, because they needed to focus on SEMA. And that was fine. Like, I understood it. I was, you know, a little bit bummed that I couldn't continue the series and not miss any weeks or anything like that, but I understood it. That wasn't a problem. After SEMA, I got back in touch with them, and then they were telling me that they wanted to wait until they got through the holiday season. That was fine. I didn't really like understand it a whole lot, because I've done, you know, 2 builds of mine so far that happened over like the holiday season, the R3 and the Ruckus, and Nord Motorsports, who provided a lot of the parts on the R3, and then the Ruck Shop, which provided a lot of parts on the Ruckus. Not a problem at all. Like, they were the most responsive companies that I've ever dealt with in any form. Just all around awesome guys to work with. So fast forward a little bit, after random miscommunication and lack of communication and getting back in touch with companies and the whole ordeal over the past 4 or 5 months, I've gotten commitments on getting parts sent that we need for the build, but they just still haven't been sent out, which sucks, because like I have a great vision on how this bike is going to be at the end, but without having these partnerships and these sponsors and these specific parts for it, it just won't happen. For example, the engine swap, there's really only there's 3 different routes you can go. You can do it fully custom and just weld all the stuff yourself and all the mounts and everything, which I don't want to do, because as I've said in the past, these builds, while I try to make them as unique as possible, I want them to be accessible for you guys. I want people that watch the videos to be able to order everything they need themselves and make something similar. I try to make these build episodes both entertaining and informative, and I want them to be useful. And I've had so many people tell me that my builds have been inspirations for theirs, and it helped them a lot with what parts they needed to do the different things that they wanted on their bikes. And I just like it being attainable for anyone that watches the videos. So I don't like doing super custom work that not everyone can do. The other option you can go, which is the main way that people do, is with a mount kit. There's only one company that makes the mount kit for these bikes, and that's the route that I needed to go. Like, that's the part that I need, and I haven't been able to get that kit. The other, oh jeez, oh my gosh, I thought that was it, man. I thought that was gonna be my first collision on a motorcycle. Freaking locked up that rear tire. Anyways, so like, I needed that kit. The other option to go with was a custom-made frame, and again, I really didn't want to do that. Although there's a guy on Facebook that's made these frames for a lot of different people. I have a good frame. Like, I have a good Grom frame already that's in perfect condition, and I didn't want to have something that I didn't fully trust, because one, I don't know the guy. I don't want there to be problems with getting it registered or anything like that, and I want the bike to be reversible, so I didn't want to do any frame modifications. And it's not like I can just move on to something else with the build. Like, we're talking the main primary pieces that we need to just get this thing moving, and then everything else after that. And I haven't even been able to get those parts either. It really sucks. And I've mentioned before, it's got to make financial sense for me to give this bike away. I know that these companies, at least apparently, are interested in providing parts for the build to help make this thing really awesome. That's how we make it happen, with you guys supporting to help us get these bikes, and great companies providing awesome parts and just making the total package. And that's what I want out of this thing. And as much as I wish that I had a Patreon page that was bringing in thousands and thousands of dollars an episode, that's just not the situation for my series, and so I got to be responsible about it. So we got to get as much as we can sponsored on it. But that's where we're at. Those are the reasons that the build has not been continuing, why there hasn't been episodes for the past 4 or 5 months, and it sucks. I know you guys are really eager to see the build going, and I am too. This is the longest that I've had a build go before, but things just haven't gone how I was hoping. But that's about it, guys. I'm Motonosity. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when all the videos go live, the build series episodes, and all my videos throughout the week. If you want to help support the build over on Patreon, you can do so. Just head over to the Patreon link down in the description. You guys have been awesome. I've been Motonosity. Remember, life's better with horsepower. Keep life lived, and I'll see you guys in the next one.